Imagine that you've known about something all of your life, something that society talks about or addresses all the time. It's something that you think you have a pretty good understanding of. Then, imagine that you learn that that something is completely different than you thought. Now, think about what you know about sexism. Think about a sexist comment. It's pretty easy, yet I'm guessing most of you thought of one type of sexism, but there may actually be two. In 1996, Peter Glick of Lawrence University and Susan Fiske of the University of Massachusetts at Amherst developed the Ambivalent Sexism Inventory, which establishes that there are two types of sexism. There's hostile sexism, which is overtly negative and offensive. Then there is benevolent sexism. Glick and Fiske define benevolent sexism as a set of interrelated attitudes toward women that are sexist in terms of viewing women stereotypically and in restricted roles, but that are subjectively positive in feeling, for the perceiver, and also tend to elicit behaviors typically categorized as pro-social, for example, helping, or intimacy-seeking, for example, self-disclosure. So, to put forth an example by Ricky Rogers of Project Muse, a man bakes a pie for his office party. His boss goes around the party raving about how great this pie is, and how he did it all by himself, his wife didn't even have to help. The comment, though well-intentioned, reinforces gender stereotypes. But this is a theory. Is it actually a problem in our society?
I believe it is a problem, honestly.
That was Zara Muhammad Ali of the Colorado State University Women and Gender Advocacy Center.
I think it's one that's overseen, overlooked by many people, and they won't realize how offensive it is, I guess, until they hear someone say it, and even until then, it might not really trigger up anything for them until later on when it's actually happening.
So, if there are two different types of sexism, is one more damaging than the other?
I think there is no truly way to say because it depends on the person. But if I was going to take a guess at it, I would say it's less. Just because it's something that when someone's not truly thinking about it, which means it's in their subconscious, so that could be kind of like damaging because they're not truly thinking about it, but it just comes out, meaning like it's in their head, but they just don't know about it. But also, people can also overlook it, like, oh, whatever, like, it doesn't matter.
So I went to Colorado State University students to see what they thought. Amber Cruz, a political science major, had this to say.
I think people are reading too much into this because I'm a paranoid person, so I always read too much into conversations, so this sounds like something I would do.
Cassidy Brannon, a sports medicine major, had this to say.
I don't think it's a problem necessarily, but I feel like it is degrading. And I've learned through our A class that you're supposed to be more respectful of people, and because you don't know what their backgrounds are.
Micah Bernal, an apparel design major, had a different perspective.
I think ambivalent sexism is probably like just as bad. People can read into it too much, but it's still sexism, and it's still like saying something about genders and gender stereotypes, and it's unequal.
Yet, this concept has been around since 1996, and I found that very few people were even aware of its existence. I asked Muhammad Ali what she thought.
I think people may know it, but just not know like the term or exact term for it, because I've definitely have heard people say things like that, but I never knew there was like an exact word for it. I think it was just like being offensive or sexist or something like that. But I think the more people hear the actual term, the definition of it, it will catch on more. Because I think people know about it, just never knew about like the terminology.
Many people get confused by benevolent sexism. In many cases, it sounds just like chivalry. So maybe the question isn't, is chivalry dead? The question is, should it be dead?